Hello.
Hello.
Look at us. We're here, and it's last orders at the open bar. And wow,
Everyone's gone. Even the bartender's gone. Damn,
I
it's
know.
late.
I have to pour my own drinks now, but that's
Turn
okay.
off the doors, drinker. We can't get out.
Oh no, what a problem to have.
Guess I'll have to sleep here.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time I've passed out in a bar. But anyway, yeah, hello everyone. This is our last orders for Open Bar 100. It was a doozy of an open bar, so it was. It was great fun doing our little character death matches. And we had a damn good panel of guests. I think we had pretty much everyone on who's been on, minus a few who didn't quite make it, but we'll get them on in the weeks to come. But yeah, it was excellent. And one of the great things about doing something like that is loads of people had loads of questions that they sent in the form of super chats, as always. And we were never going to get through them on the night, so we are catching up on them here. Now, I want to just make you guys aware as we go into this catch up. It's normally been our policy, Mahler and I, to go through each and every super chat when we do these catch up streams. And normally it's fine. We can give a couple of hours to it and give everyone the answers and the time that they deserve. Looking through the list of chats that came through that night, obviously everyone was super enthusiastic because it was like a special episode and it was just kind of a celebration. We have a lot. And there's probably more than we can realistically get through in one session without me losing my voice, and probably Mahler as well. So what we will do, we will give it our best effort to get through as many of them as possible. If there's the occasional ones which, maybe are asking the same question, then we'll just do one of them rather than answering the same thing over and over again, because obviously that's gonna waste your time. And I just want to say, like, for any of them that we don't quite get to answer, we really appreciate you guys sending all these super chats through. We appreciate all the support that you've given us.
Hell yeah.
We're going to continue to honor you guys going forward as we do these, but on this occasion, we're just going to have to make our best effort to get through as many as we can. So we might not 100% this one. So no platinum trophy for us, Mahler, on this occasion. But we'll do our best.
Close.
Yeah, we'll try, as we always do. But anyway, let me just see here. So we got this one from there's a couple of member chats that came in. TGM says, ever been to the Doritos farm? It's a cool ranch. Good one. I like that.
Nice.
Pierced by Light says, I'm sort of glad that Firefly only had a limited run. It was so afraid that they were going to give Jane a real heel turn. So this is catching up on a couple of the super chats that came in from our Firefly video. Just wanted to cover that as well.
I already am just like, almost don't read Firefly. If any of you fuckers spoil anything for him, I'll be very upset.
I'm staying quite wary of the comments section on our Firefly videos for that very reason. We're just giving them ammunition now. We shouldn't have said that. And Pygmy Splints says, howdy, Drinker. I was just wondering if you could give us a review of the film The Grey. Have either of you seen the short film Astartes? It puts Acolyte's excuse of we couldn't afford the Wookiee fight scene to shame. Yes, I have seen Astartes. It was absolutely fantastic. Brilliant animation.
For the record, the couldn't afford the Wookiee fight scene. It's bullshit. No one's believing them.
Oh, yeah.
No one. We
know. We all know. But Astartes was great. And I think it was just done off someone's own back. It was like, they were a fan of Warhammer and they ended up getting picked up by Games Workshop because of this. They got like a contract because it was like, damn, this guy knows what he's doing. So that worked out nicely. I like that one. And yeah, The Grey, have I not reviewed that? I feel like I have reviewed that on my second channel,
It's an excellent film. We're talking about the
Liam Neeson one, I assume.
Yeah. For a second there, I was like, it was a Warhammer thing, because the Liam Neeson movie, The Grey, is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. And yeah, look it up. I'm pretty sure I reviewed it already. Joshua, and this is going over to our Open Bar 100 one. Hail Legends, and congrats to Drinker on 100 episodes and passing Stuckmanizer's sub count. Oh, really? I'm bigger than Stuckman now, apparently.
Now it's inevitable that you're going to tell everybody to stop being mean to movies.
Yeah. Well, I'm a filmmaker, don't you know, Mahler? I understand how difficult it is. And he says, now down to business. How much for Tatiana to arrive and pole dance? Well, I've got a monopoly on Tatiana at this point, so not anyone can just buy her, I own her. Raging Rhino for 50 Australian dollars says, Drinker, I owe you my thanks. Yours and Gary's encouragement for hatred and bigotry helped me pass 6K subs this week. If you want the full Looper video, I screen recorded it before it got deleted. However, Gary has it too. Thanks for you guys and everything you do. Cheers. Thank you, man. I mean, what can we say? We keep flying the flag for hatred and bigotry here on Open
I'm
Bar.
curious about that Lupa video. It sounds super retarded.
I think it is. Yeah, I've seen the section where they mention us, and it doesn't even make any sense the way they word it. Like, you know, we're criticizing the plot, characters, and lore breaking, and it's like, well, that can lead to hatred and bigotry, don't you know?
Oh well, let's just not say anything ever.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's just praise everything. Maybe the Stuckmanizer's got the right idea. Chuck Sinhausen says, "Cheers to you on 100 episodes. Well done. Thank you, man." Hurricane Laura, congrats to Drinker and Mauler for 100 episodes, and cheers to my fellow Open Bar patrons. Here's to 100 more. I like the sound of that.
Easy.
RRTNZ, happy 100th, boys. Chuck Norris was in the 10 Commandments as God's stunt double, but bet he'd approve if you did a dodgeball stream. Cheers. Isn't that interesting that he should say
uncanny.
that?
I did mention on Real BBC that we'd recorded for Dodgeball. You guys know how this works. It was like 4 years ago that I mentioned we'd done like the Mask of Zorro. You'll get it, but it'll be ages.
Yeah, it was glorious to watch, though. Man,
yeah,
I'd forgotten how fun that movie was.
Super fun.
Samson the Mighty, as the Open Bar's unofficial historian, the day I became a fan was year 4, and Sargon asked Gundam of the final solution to the thought problem. It still gets me every time. Okay, I'd like to know what the final solution was in Gundam's case, actually. TC says, I love the casual racism in the Acolyte. We're introducing Chinese Kung Fu, so we need some representation. Korean guy? Close enough. True. Paul Stramby. The dead master on the Acolyte is the smartest one. He drank himself off the show as soon as it started. I agree.
Yeah,
I think he had the right plan. In fact, to be fair, if I was lumbered with a beard like that, I'd probably get out of there as well. Dan Ronan says, it's mighty frustrating to watch guys like Angry Joe get mad about the quality of the Acolyte and then maintain the message has nothing to do with it.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the direction of say like they're mad about that, but they won't be mad about any of the other shows or a lot of the other ones. You know what I mean? Like, because Acolyte's shitty writing is present in a lot of the other ones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think the other ones don't have the fucking power of many, power of one shit, but you know, close enough.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you've got a target-rich environment when you're talking about the Acolyte. You know, you can criticize it for the message that beats you over the head, or you know, you can just go in for the terrible characters, the horrible writing, the cringeworthy dialogue, the amateurish direction. Like, there's plenty to go for there.
Cornucopia of cringe.
Yeah, it really is the perfect storm. Hostile Hippie says, Drinker and Mauler, watch the Netflix series Kingdom. It's set in feudal Japan and follows a shogun-ish political power struggle story for the throne, happening at the same time as a zombie outbreak. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I've talked about this a whole bunch of times. Season 1 was awesome. I was less fond of Season 2, but I think I recommended it to you. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I was getting that mixed up with The Last Kingdom, which is obviously quite a different show, but yeah, Shogun, zombies. I mean, what's not to like? I like that idea. Marksman says, Marla, your assistance is required. Vandals have damaged the ancient seal. The human volunteers, 89 goats, and ointment of purity are ready. The prison seal must be reinforced. See you at the site.
All right.
Sure. I like that response. Vimarain says, happy 100th anniversary of Open Bar Drinker. Thank you for being such a good friend to all. Mauler, and huge thanks to all friends, big and small, who visited along the way, bringing flavors to this podcast. It was a wild century of fun, 100 years ahead. It was a good century. Thank you.
Good century,
yeah. Doug Schmidt, Rings of Power will ultimately have the same positive effect on the Hobbit trilogy as Disney Star Wars had on the prequels. Yay or nay? Happy hundo. I think probably, yeah. I feel I'm getting that vibe already, actually, that people are starting to look more fondly on the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah.
Perhaps
it'll happen again with the next season of Rings of Power, because there'll just be inevitable comparisons. It's like, oh, they kind of did this in The Hobbit, and it was way better. Remember that?
Yeah. TGV Monster, happy 100th, guys. Well earned, and you provide me with great content and laughs in these times. Thank you. Mr. E, gents, jumping streams, but Mal's rebuttals when dealing with dissent isn't necessarily inflexible, but sound leadership while afloat. Captain is right to follow orders, as seen from the lens of a fleet marine, U.S. Marine Corps Semper Fi.
What? Who are they talking about?
So Mao, his rebuttals when dealing with dissent, it isn't necessarily inflexible, but sound leadership while afloat.
I wouldn't. If we called it inflexible, I would say that is not a nuanced perspective of what's happening. But I don't mind that being an aspect of his character still, that he is stubbornly. If there's a time where someone is overriding him, and it maybe in context is actually a good move, like I don't mind calling him stubborn on that. But I also agree that a leader needs to be in charge. You know, they need to make sure nobody else is undermining them.
Yeah. Jester of Roanoke says, who would win in a fight, Chris Stockman or Movie Bob? The thing is, right, Chris Stockman's probably in better shape, and fitter and stronger, like Movie Bob's struggling to just move around. But I feel like Movie Bob might have more fight in him. Stockman would just be really passive about the whole thing and wouldn't have any strong opinions.
He'd feel bad about all of it, and then he might just get down on the ground and say, let's not fight.
Movie Bob would just like land on him. Shan Wikram Singh says, congratulations on your 100th open bar. I'm actually in the UK to hear this one. Very good. Nice, man.
Hey.
Welcome to the UK. Yeah, I liked when I did the character mashup and it was like Bob versus a reasonable amount of food, and like everyone just had it going to Bob. Like, yeah, he'd demolish it. TSM says, congrats on turning 100. Your letter from the king will be arriving soon. Thanks for bringing common sense back and inspiring me to do the same on my own channel. Here's to the next 100. Keep it up, lads. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Kim Husby. Hey, lads, you guys are the absolute best. Cheers. Are any of you aware of the Netflix TV show Ragnarok, a Norwegian drama about reanimated Norse gods in a small town? Would you check it out and maybe give it a review?
Maybe at some point, but I've not really heard much about it at all.
Yeah. Not too familiar with it myself, but yeah, always good to have new possibilities. Social Morlock. Congratulations on your centennial, and here's to many more. Tatiana has indeed confirmed that you only swing one way, so alas, no more happy bicentennial for you. Keep up the great work. I'll see myself out. Nice. I think you did exactly what you needed to do there, sir, so well done. Graham Signer. Well done on 100 open bars. I bet that tab is huge. Did you know there's a quasi-sequel to True Lies with Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, and Arnold all appearing in it? Crap, but better than The Acolyte, The Kid and I. What?
I never knew about this.
How's Arnold in that?
I'm guessing when you say quasi-sequel, they just mean it's a film with all of them in it at some point?
I mean...
It's like a cameo, maybe? I don't know.
It must be a cameo, yeah, because I thought I was fairly familiar with all of his work. It's an American comedy film. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, so it's got like Linda Hamilton, Shannon Elizabeth, that's always a mark of quality, Shaquille O'Neal, Bill Goldberg, Arnold Schwarzenegger as himself, and Jamie Lee Curtis as herself. So, yeah, it must be tiny little cameos. Okay, fair enough.
All right.
I did not know about that movie. Kevbot says, congratulations on 100 years. How do you keep your beard so damn perfect? Well, that's the thing. Like, it's actually afraid of me, so it just obeys my instructions. It doesn't actually grow until I allow it to. So that's quite
you got to train it early to get it like that.
Yeah, like instill a bit of discipline in it, and honestly, it'll pay off in the years ahead. So yeah, I'm trying to stop it from turning grey. That's one thing it doesn't really obey me on. So
being rebellious on that front, yeah.
Yeah. The Fixer. Glad I caught this on my day off, though I'll likely miss due to 0400 wake up. Oh, that is brutal. And Division Fun Run tomorrow. Question for you all: who would you want to produce and direct a Half-Life miniseries?
I don't know. Like we got slim pickings for anyone we can trust these days to make something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're talking about science, technology, interdimensional portals and stuff, would you want someone like Christopher Nolan working on that? or did he intellectualize it too much?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Maybe it should be animated. I don't know.
I mean, possibly, yeah. Mr. Lucas says, thoughts on Scotland in the Euros, Chief? Well, fuck all now. Like, crashed and burned. Yeah, man, like, that was a brutal game to watch, especially when you concede a goal in, like, the 100th minute, fucking 10 minutes of injury time, and we concede a goal in the last minute. Yeah, some dude in my pub tried to, like, flip a table over. He was so pissed off about it. And it wasn't even me. Finn Sane says, do you remember a film called Striking Distance with Bruce Willis in the lead? Man, the movies were better in the 90s. Also, cheers to 100 more episodes. Thank you, sir. And yeah, I do remember Striking Distance. I'm sure it had Sarah Jessica Parker in it as well. I'm gonna check
don't
that
know
out.
that one.
But yeah, that was a decent enough movie. Yeah, that was, yeah. So he's like a Coast Guard guy or something, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I got vague memories of it. So yeah. Oh no, he's a homicide detective. So yeah, there's a lot of boats involved in it though. Yeah, and it's even on the poster. But yeah, okay, cool. Red Residue says, congrats lads, been watching since Open Bar 1, and what 100 years it's been. It really has. Last week, my 6-year-old son watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he loved it. Big proud dad Fleems. Question, have you sentenced... What's that? Have you sentenced Once Were Warriors? Tim Morrison's best performance by far, brutal New Zealand film. So I guess that's Once We Were Warriors. So Tamora Morrison was in it.
No, not seen that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen him in many things where he has to actually act.
No.
I feel bad about that because I suspect maybe there is a good actor lurking under there. It's just he's not really had a chance to do it in a mainstream role, you know? Anyway, Movie Mangler. Congrats on the big 100. I made that clip you occasionally bring up, Roxer Sinky. Hey, nice. It always brings me great joy when it gives you all a laugh. We'll have to bust out the AI voice gen for some Acolyte clips. Yeah, man, honestly. It's such a great remix of that I've seen. It's just like how dumb it is, but it's like it's properly in line with the original as well. It's just it's the same sentiment, just made even more retarded. Boats are floaty. Yeah, good work, man. Thank you for making that. Miles Mulholland, congrats on 100 years, Drinker and Mauler. Believe that. I do believe that. Thank you. Cannon Falderall. And now your hosts. From Merthyr Tydfil to John O'Groats, all the way to your house. One is long, the other is souse. It's the Jock and Taffy variety show, celebrating 100 years of broadcast excellence and 0 of sobriety. Cheers. Thanks, man.
Is indeed.
Astro Nerd Boy, congrats on 100. Can't wait to see the Firefly video you just posted. Did you read the Shogun novel? No, I didn't. I hated the FX version because they destroyed Blackthorn's character arc and they made Toranaga weak compared to the novel. The 1980 adaptation was faithful in spirits. Well, there you go. Yeah, so because I don't have anything to compare it to, I can only say, like, I enjoyed the TV show. Thought it was good. Maybe the book's even better. I'm not sure. That does actually bring back a memory. I'm pretty sure we covered that on the night. B-Chain says, we are so bored that we will not interact with your discourse. Amandla Stenberg, if she could speak English and not be cringe as fuck. Cheers on 100 rounds of open bar. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Did you enjoy her video more?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I feel like I was one of the earliest people to see it because I refreshed the page by chance. And I saw it was like 5 minutes ago. She's uploaded this thing, not even from her account. It was from someone else uploaded because it was from Instagram, I think. And I didn't. Gary had the same story. I didn't believe it was real. I was like, this must be some goofy thing that someone made somehow, or it's from like ages ago that she did. Yeah. I was like, never would I believe that you'd be this fucking stupid to make. It's like, nope.
It's like as well. I don't know. I feel like this was made in advance, like, and it was just prepped and ready because putting a video together like that probably takes a bit of time, even though it's shit. I imagine it required a bit of editing. Someone had to write the lyrics. Someone had to, shoot it, edit it, all that stuff. It takes time. It's like she just knew. But yeah, I think my favorite comment on it is that she inherited her dancing ability from her dad.
I've found those jokes really funny. If you want to be able to cut right to her soul, I think if you said to her, after all the shit she says in that song, that you could tell that you're mostly white because of how you dance, she'd be like, what? Sorry. Don't mean to upset, but
just calling it like we see it. Cannibal Teaspoon says, congrats on the 100th, gentlemen. Watched you both for years now, and it's been a pleasure to see how far you've come. May the dawn bless you, drinker, and Mew Blishy. And here's to the next 100. Slange. Slange to you, sir. And yeah, we haven't heard about the dawn for a while, actually. Needs to come back.
It does.
Nick the Greek says, drinker, congrats on finally watching Firefly. And the 100th thing too, I guess. Yeah, Firefly was more important, I would say. But yeah, man, thank you. It's been great to start watching it. Nicolex Official says, Optimus voices. Before time began, there was the drinker. We now know we know not where he comes from, only that he had the power to down bottles of Jack and bring enlightenment to fans. There you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I try my best. Piston says, drinker, it took you 100 years, but how does it feel to have surpassed the legendary positive movie reviewer and director Chris Stuckman in YouTube subs? Feels great. Mixer says, Dougal's doing a funeral? You let Dougal do a funeral? I don't know how the Father Ted thing came up, but yeah. Have you seen that cutaway where it just like cuts to Dougal's funeral where like there's like things on fire and there's like a crashed car in the background and people running?
I need to do just a full watch through of that. I was talking about how I'm 40 episodes into TOS now, and people are like, you need to watch Twilight Zone, you need to watch this, you need to watch that. I was like, guys, I need to watch TNG. That alone is like what, 7 seasons? And then DS9 is 9 seasons, and TOS was 3 seasons. They're not short seasons. I was like, you understand? Oh, it's a nightmare. Like trying to watch all of the things.
Even Mauler is only one man, and he only has so much time for watching things, sadly.
That's true.
Dexy Deans says, Slange panel, interested to hear your top 3 hottest sci-fi ladies. I'm going to go with 1, Erin Gray as Colonel Deering. 2, Ornella Muti as Princess Aura. Good choice. A man of culture, I see. And number 3, Xenia Seberg as Zev in Lex. Congrats, and lang may your lum reek. Cheers. I always preferred the other one. I think it was Eva Haberman, who was the original Zev. I thought she was hotter, to be fair. Either one of them would do fine. So yeah, hottest sci-fi ladies, Mauler.
Well, how about we both choose Erin's son, I assume? I don't know. We putting her in there?
I think she's pretty fucking hot, yeah. I can't remember what I had to do it for, but like I was looking up a publicity shot of her or something to put in a video. And there was a few where it's like, her posing with the pulse rifles and stuff and in like a vest top. And I just thought, damn, she was built. It's just hot. I had to take a moment to just appreciate it.
I think I'd mentioned to you on a prior like catch up or whatever, but when I was super young watching Farscape, something activated watching her in that show. I was like,
yeah.
I like this lady. She's cool.
Boy Mauler became man Mauler.
Exactly.
No, she's probably going to be in the list. And who else would I pick? Who's really hot in sci-fi?
Admiral Holdo.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a given, really, isn't it? It's the blue hair that does it for me.
Oh yeah.
What do I think about it? Yeah, well, you're watching the original Star Trek series, right? Aren't you? Uhura back in the day was extremely beautiful. It has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely, I'd give her top marks on that one. I was tempted to say Sam Carter from from Stargate, sorry, but maybe not. She's more like likable rather than hot. Yeah, I might go with Ornella Muti actually
Oh.
from Flash Gordon. She was damn good. John Everett, he says, "Happy 100 years. Here's to 100 more. Drinker and Mauler, congrats. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
Drake Timbershaft says, "The Jedi called it the Force. The witches call it the Thread. Those who know better call it the Schlurpo. Only true wisdom comes from the Schlurpo."
I was going to say that's what the true name of it is. Just people aren't ready for that yet.
LW says, "I called in sick for this. Congrats on the centennial." That's amazing. Pathkeeper, congrats on the 100th anniversary. Thanks for all the entertainment and sanity, Drinker, Mauler, and guests. Question for the bar. With the passing of Donald Sutherland, what was your favorite role of his? It's got to be Oddball, really, hasn't it? Oddball from Kelly's Heroes. That was beautiful.
Trying to remember which film, because I'm more familiar with Kiefer Sutherland than I am with him. Not a shock at all.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Just having him in Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yes, and he is good in that.
He is, yeah.
I wouldn't have described it as like a life-changing performance or anything. I'm trying to think of what would be a time where I've thought like, oh man, he fucking knocked it out of the park with that one sort of thing. I don't think I've seen enough of his films, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I guess he was more active in like the 70s, the 80s. Like took on like slightly more restricted roles, I guess, as he got older. A lot of people will know him as the villain from the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure if I would place that at the top of the pile really for his best roles. Let me just have a quick look. Actually,
I was similar to you. I think with like I just had no idea when or if he was ever gonna die. Like I didn't know if he was still around. I rarely ever remembered his age, but I was still kind of surprised to see it.
Yeah, he was just like the eternal. Like he'd been old my whole life, and it just seemed like he would always kind of be around. My God, he's got a huge filmography.
Yeah,
it's all shit I've never heard of, but yeah, he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh shit! Well, yeah, he famously gives a very 50-50 performance in that. Like, I don't think he gave a shit. I'm not sure. I need to rewatch it again to decide. But yeah, he was a watcher in it, and I remember really being happy about that. Like, because I liked him as the watcher. He's good shit.
Yeah. He was also the villain in Lock Up, which was quite good. I remember him playing the warden, just constantly tormenting Sylvester Stallone. Philinx says, "Congrats on the 100. Cheers very much." This one. Yeah. Bobby Preet Singh says, "Hi guys, I was born in the year 2000. Story time. When I watched Batman vs. Superman in a theater in India, people were laughing at the Martha scene because Martha in Hindi means getting killed." Okay. So save, get killed. What are your funny cinema stories? Happy 100. Right. Funny cinema stories. I remember the projector broke down like right at the climax of Jurassic Park when I was seeing it as a kid. It was in the kitchen scene with the raptors, like literally when it was running towards Lex, and the projector just broke down, and like the poor employee had to like come out in front of everyone and be like, "Sorry, it's broken. We're trying to fix it."
Poor guy.
They didn't go down very well.
I've mentioned it before, but it's just one that I mentioned was it on Open Bar 100 or whatever? But I was talking about seeing The Predator, and when Olivia Munn shot herself in the foot, it's rare this happens. I'm usually pretty controlled, especially being British, but I like essentially shouted out, "What the fuck?" And then I sort of looked around and I was like, "Shit, sorry." Because I fucking hate that movie. But it's just
the two other people in the theater with you probably were.
Yes.
Were mad.
Well, I was with a friend, and I think we had like visibly few to the point where I wasn't sure where people were. I was just like, "Someone's in here," I think.
Real Side says, "Congratulations on the 100. Hail the Drinker and Mauler. Hail the panel and hail to the chat. Much love." Thank you. Big Dog says, "Happy 100th episode. Drinker, I love your work. And do us all a favor and put those Just Stop Oil arseholes in jail for life. Leave Stonehenge alone. Yeah, that was a bridge too far, man. When you start fucking with Stonehenge, people are going to get mad at you.
Well, unfortunately, they can actually do real damage to Stonehenge, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
a lot of the paintings they throw shit on are protected or, you know, doubles or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wonder what the mentality is as well, because it's like, you know, you're certainly raising awareness of your cause, but you're actively making everyone hate you because you're acting like complete dicks. So I don't really think you're helping anything, you know? It
No,
almost
I don't
makes
think
people
so.
want to, like, you know, burn up some oil just to piss
Yeah,
you off.
it's like we're the everyone should be able to drink water club, and they do that, and you're like, no, I don't think everyone should drink water. Like,
Yeah.
thanks. That's what I think now.
White Knight Leo says orcs are Mexican now. Says Wizards of the Coast. It's just I hate it. I hate this timeline. Wasn't it someone who like asserted that orcs were black coded or something? So they saw them as a stand-in for black people, and it's like no sane person has ever thought that when they looked at an orc.
Yeah, there's been a few people who've tried that over time.
But yeah, the supposedly like tolerant and progressive people are the ones who see it. Yeah, sure, okay. Saying a lot about yourselves there. Luffy the Sun God says, "Hi there, Drinker Nation. James O'Keefe just released a video exposing Disney. He had one of his undercover journalists record one of Disney's top execs admit on camera that they're racist against white people. It's a clusterfuck." Yeah, I don't understand how there's not going to be like multiple lawsuits arising from that. Like
well,
the
even the
number
guy in
of
the video
people who
said
got
they would be right.
yeah, well, think about the number of people who got refused promotions or like or just like constructively dismissed or like had their careers stymied because of this literally being discriminated against. It's like against the law, and you've just admitted it on camera. I don't see how they can defend that like in any way, shape, or form. It's insane. It's weird as well because it's like you have this mental image, I suppose, that you build up in your head of Disney is like this kind of evil company where they hate their own customers and they're doing all this nefarious stuff. But then there's the rational part of your mind that says, they'd never actually do that, though. It's like probably much more mundane in real life. And then you see videos like that and realize, oh no, they are actually as horrible as we imagine. So that's nice. John Gates says, one day on the Patriot set, they had Mel do his Braveheart speech to the crew before filming a battle scene just to rile them up. Nice. Also, FIFA 2014 was the last PS2 game, amazingly released for PS2, 3, and 4 over 13 years after the console came out. Oh, yeah, I think we discussed that actually on the night.
Yeah, I think you read that one.
This is pretty cool though. William Holsomback says, "Happy 100th open bar, Drinker and Mauler. I've been enjoying you guys for over a year now, and I'm glad to be a part of the big anniversary. Also, personal shout out to the unlisted gang." Nice. And yeah, thanks, man. Irish John, happy 100th episode. Thanks for making the workday more bearable. Well, we try. We can't get you out of whatever shitty job you're stuck in, but we can hopefully distract you for a little while.
Just a bit.
Black Fate. Happy 100th anniversary, gentlemen. Funny how you, the ones called out for being biased, intolerant, and sexist, etc., are actually kind, warm, cheerful, and more welcoming than any Hollywood show. Oh, thank you.
We try.
We're monsters in real life, but, you know, we try to put on a good front here. Provocateur Extraordinaire says the 100th episode is basically a knockoff of The Shootist. I'm assuming your review is coming shortly. Congrats, sir. You're doing the Lord's work. It will get done. Don't worry. Chris Rubisky Art says, hey guys, long-time lurker, first-time super chatter. Congrats on the 100 episodes. Drinker, I'm an illustrator and I've reached you through email. I've drawn you a logo caricature if you're interested to use for your channel. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't remember seeing anything unless it's just in the past couple of days. Yeah, do me a little favor, man. If you could, maybe just resend it so it will come into my inbox like tomorrow or something. And then I can take a look. But yeah, much appreciated. I'd like to see that. Derek says, I asked what a fat Jedi is doing in Star Wars and got told that body shaming isn't okay. This is the kind of shit that we have to deal with. Yeah. Because it's not really about body shaming him, is it? It's like, you know, it's just pointing out, like, this is kind of contrary to what the Jedi are supposed to be trained for.
Oh, it certainly struck me that way. I thought that they had a lot of physical training
Well, I
and
would
like
assume so,
physical
yeah.
limitations. I would have assumed.
Yeah. This guy certainly has physical limitations, that's for sure. Piotr Wozniak says, "Hail, you massives. No questions or requests. Just wanted to say thanks for a full century of amazing fun. Keep being awesome. Here's to another few centuries of drunken critique. Slange." Thank you. James Moore. Pinhead is the demonic equivalent of an angel and conflates pleasure and pain into one. Pennywise is a cosmic evil fueled off of fear, favoring kids. Yeah, it was tricky to match them up actually, because it's like, well, how do they interact? How do their powers work on each other? I don't know. I tried to provoke an interesting conversation with that one, I suppose.
Yeah.
Master of Puppets says, "What is worse, Star Wars or Doctor Who? For me, it's Doctor Who. I have many fond memories of watching it with my parents, and now we have this shit. Congratulations on 100 years. You look good for your age." I do try. Thanks. Yeah, with this, I think it's just going to come down to what you're more personally connected to. If you've got a real love of Star Wars and you're personally connected to it from your childhood or whatever, you're going to see that as the one that's been more fucked over. Likewise with Doctor Who, it's just relative, I suppose. Metal Face Rosie. Open Bar Meet Video Archives podcast. Muller and Tarantino have tismy arguments while Drinker tries not to mention alcohol to Avery. It ends with Tarantino calling the Wu-Tang Clan and getting Muller and Drinker N-word passes. Yay, finally we can say it. I like this one from Peter Garombi as well. Character mashups. Boogie versus not talking. Snoopy Diz. Movie Bob looks like fat Steven Seagal. I mean, that's the only version of Steven Seagal that you get nowadays, really. Patrick C says, "Here's to 100 years of Open Bar, a much-needed bastion of common sense in these strange times. If the mainstream media, shills, and NPCs are coming after you and nerdrotic, it's simply because they fear reality and authenticity." Yep. Indeed. It's weird because it was literally one video from Looper that got deleted. Like everyone's acting like, my God, the entire mainstream media have been arrayed against us. Like it's probably a lot, it's a lot more limited than that, really. And it seems to have just kind of burned out. So, oh well. Ryan is right, says Ryan's infinite rage keeps him burning calories constantly. That's how he stays so thin and wise, like his Jedi counterpart. I like that. He's fueled by rage.
Yeah.
It burns up the calories pretty quickly. Kyle Williams says, "Have you guys seen For the Empire series by the AFK YouTube channel? Way better than anything Disney has made. Fan films for these franchises are going to take over from Disney eventually." Yeah, until they get sued into oblivion, I suppose.
I've not seen that, I don't think.
Carnitas says, "But guys, don't you remember in What If, Vision immediately kills Thanos with the gauntlet instantly? Good times."
There's a couple of things that happened in the What If stuff that made everyone mad. I just ended up not watching much of it. I think I saw the Captain Carter one and I was already done.
Yeah, it was. Some of them were kind of interesting. Like, what if Ultron became like mega powerful and just like ends up taking over the entire universe? Like stuff like that. It's fine. Like, I don't think you're meant to read too much into it, but yeah, I didn't have too much of an issue with it. What's the next one? Peter Bojanowski says, "Drinker, I was wondering if you're familiar with Nobu's Uematsu band called the Black Mages. They play hard rock version of some popular Final Fantasy tunes. If not, check it out. Congrats on turning 100. Thank you. I'm not too familiar. I've heard the name, but I haven't listened to their stuff unless it's been like indirectly through other people's videos or whatever. But no, that'd be quite cool to hear different versions of the Final Fantasy tunes. I do like them." Don Gossman says, "I've just started Something to Die For. I love the Ryan Drake novels. Congratulations on 100. Cheers." Thank you. And thank you for buying my book. Frozen Bill Killer. "As I slog through a workday in a 100-degree machine shop, I take solace in the fact that at least I'm not watching The Acolyte. Thanks for jumping on the grenade, guys." Thank you, man. I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but it was an experience, I suppose.
Yeah. We've learned things. We've come a long way. We've grown.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not working in 100-degree heat in a machine shop. So yeah, what we do is not that hard. Sam Wallace Art says Hollywood actively despises normal people as everything wrong with society. Fan rejection is never failure; it's a sacred martyrdom. They want us in misery. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they seem to want to lose money, and they're doing a very good job at it, so that's nice. Jordan Pendragon, congrats on Open Bar 100, and best of luck for your gaming channel. Now all that's left is a channel where you sample and critique or recommend beers and whiskies, and life will be complete. I know, maybe I should go for 4 channels. I need to.
I do like the idea that you're like, I can't call it critical drinker though, because that's taken. I'm fucked.
Yeah, damn.
It's done.
Shot myself in the foot there. I really should have planned
Yeah.
ahead for this. I'll figure something out. Kryptonian Jedi says, not only did Disney lose money on ticket sales and in ratings, but think of all the money they'll never make from t-shirts, action figures, lunchboxes, etc. That's billions they will never see. The money was always in the merch, wasn't it? Especially when it came to Star Wars. And
no, the sentiment of that is very true. The amount they've lost through alternate timelines where just everything was happier, healthier, and more popular. It's just, yeah, doesn't matter. How much money they've actually made, it's a fraction of what they could have made.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a school of thought that they still haven't made back the cost of buying Lucasfilm, so maybe that's the case. Gary says, congratulations on making it 100 Schlurpos. It was a pleasure to have
Beautiful.
those. Jan Javi says, are you guys going to watch The Boys Season 4? No, I literally made a video explaining why I'm not. It's funny how excited I've been for Season 2, and now I just don't care. You'll have to tell me if it's worth watching. I didn't even finish Season 3. I mean, by all accounts, it's not that great. Yeah, as for all the reasons I outlined in my video, there's some people who still passionately defend it, and man, my video got a bit of a hammering on the ratings, but yeah, it's from everything I've heard, it's fallen off a cliff a little bit in terms of quality. Corrupted Smurf says, is anyone going to point out that the last episode of Acolyte accidentally made men's rights argument when the two moms argue over custody and how one gave birth to her and the other created her? Nothing in that show makes sense. I don't know what you can even draw from it at this point, apart from the writers are idiots. What said, did anyone see Colony on USA? It was a great show about an alien invasion, and USA cancelled it on a cliffhanger. I'm still bitter. Also, has anyone seen Edge of Darkness with Mel Gibson? No. I haven't seen Colony. And Edge of Darkness, don't think I have. Have you seen it, Muller?
No, I can't. I'm trying to think of. I've seen it. No, it's not triggering any memories at all.
Okay. Nick Brone says, the Force is not a weapon to be wielded, then proceeds to use the thread as a weapon. I guess when a woman does it, it's not illegal. That was, I think it was Despot of Antrim that used that Nixon clip. It was a pretty good reference, actually. I like that.
It's just painful, though. Like, not a weapon, clearly used as a weapon. You're just like, why am I watching this?
They don't even read their own script, like scene to scene. Sam Wallace, love the end of Shogun. If you know history, it's quite the reveal that all along it was the prequel to the Battle of Shekigahara. And this was the original story to modern Japan the whole time. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not particularly well up on my feudal Japanese history, but this brought in the period of isolation, like after the events of this show. That's when Japan entered into like 100 years of complete isolation from the outside world. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes about. Daval says, Andor is clever with subtle dialogue and world building over 3-episode arcs. Acolyte is, hello, best friend for 10 years whose parents died in a fire with an evil twin. Also, congrats on 100 years of streams. Thank you. That's exactly the quality of the writing right there. John McKinley, happy 100th birthday, drinker. Do yourself a favor and lay off the toilet duck. I'll go away now. No, never. I'm never giving up my toilet duck.
Double it every time someone says to lay off it. That's how it works.
Yeah. The Bludgeoner. Will they call Spaceballs 2 The Search for More Money? And does anyone actually care? 30 years too late. Yeah, that is a weird one.
I don't want it at all, but like if it came out and it was actually like really good and took advantage of making fun of everything that it can, it could like. It's not going to happen. There's no way.
You're already constructing a scenario in your head that just can't be. So don't do it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Black reviews. I had an idea I wanted to float. Instead of Disney Star Wars, can we start referring to this era of Star Wars as the Kennedy assassination years? I mean, that seems pretty good. So, like, she did assassinate Star Wars, so yeah, I think that's pretty apt. Demon Dog. The important thing to remember whenever you decide to watch FMAB. What is that one?
Say it again, sorry.
FMAB. What's that an acronym for?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh yeah,
easy recommendation. Yeah,
there are after credit scenes for a bunch of episodes that are important to the story, so check after each episode. That I fucking hate. I get to the credits and I'm like, cool, I can skip to the next episode now and get started with that. All these after credit bullshit scenes piss me off, Mauler, and I'm going to blame you for it.
It was me. I put them there.
You forced them to do it. Casey Boyd, I'm confused about what the Force does anymore. I thought it provides a little clairvoyance and just moves objects. Also, if people can use the Force to throw people, what's the point of having lightsabers? Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. It's all stupid. Doesn't make any sense anymore. I hate Star Wars. I hate Star Wars and I hate the Force, okay?
I hate it all, Bob. It's all terrible.
I want to go home. Wave Rider. Hey, Drinker, I always thought that Captain Phasma should have been a non-talking role like Boba Fett with subtle body language rather than what we got, with maybe a damaged helmet death to reveal it's a woman. Your thoughts? That could work, yeah. That would be fine. She never says anything particularly important or interesting or whatever, so... Yeah.
She's a great example of how they just didn't know what they were doing, because if you just had her have the most basic thing ever, just take any characteristic out of a fucking hat, you pull it out and it says funny, and you're like, all right, that's what she is. She's a funny character. She comes across as really intimidating, but she's actually quite funny. And then at the end, she dies in a kind of funny way or something. Just anything.
Yeah.
But they didn't do anything for it. Do you remember there was a deleted scene where she kills a bunch of her own men because Finn was trying to reveal that she's a coward? Remember that?
No. What?
That's the thing. She's standing on some platform and Finn says, "Did you know that she gave up like instantly when we asked her to take down the shields, and she's the reason the Starkiller base was destroyed?" And all the stormtroopers look at her like, "Wait, what?" And then she goes, and then she shoots them all dead.
Okay,
it's
sure.
So terrible. It's funny. So... I'm asking for some character, right? But like that, I get why you cut it.
Yeah, it's like not that kind of character. I mean, it was kind of funny to watch Gwendolyn Christie like flounder her way through interviews trying to explain what her characterization was. It's like, I got nothing. Like, there is no character there. David Ryan says, congrats on the 100. Now let's toast to the next 100. I'll drink to that. Thank you. Brady Crippen says, if Leslie Headland is basically May, does that mean Smilo Ren is Harvey Weinstein? I mean, who knows who Smilo Ren is at this point? Maybe we do know now because the episode's out, isn't it? Yeah, I say, yeah, that's fine by me. It's actually time-traveling Luke, okay? We all knew it was going to be. Rachel McDonald says, congrats on the 100. I'm so grateful for everything that you do. You've helped me be a more considered writer. The editor in my head is now a drunken open bar. Perfect. That's who everyone should have. Mm-hmm. If I end up with Mauler ranting, I know I've really messed up. Cheers. Next one. Dave Long says, Drinker, when is your review coming out for the Acolyte episode 4? Well, I mean, I thought I was kind of done with all this, like, particularly with episode 4, because it just didn't even seem interesting enough to talk about. I think I'd struggle to review it because there's just nothing to say.
I'll give you that one. 4 was Rags makes this joke at the end of our coverage where he's like, we don't even need to put this out because there's just nothing happens. I picture something will happen in this next one, though.
I've got a feeling. I sense a disturbance in the Force. So you know what? If my YouTube nation needs me, then I shall answer the call. So I'll see what episode 5 brings us. This one. Right. Oh, yeah. M8566 says, Hail to the bar. Congrats on 100 years. Drinker, take a shot with me. You too, Mauler. 3, 2, 1. Do it. Cheers. Wait a minute. I need to pour myself a drink. I know you can't see this on camera, but I will pour it and I will drink it.
You can hear it.
Just for you. 3, 2, 1. Go. Nice. Cheers, man. D says, the power of 2 equals the sisters will unite to kill the Sith with the gang equals the power of many. 4th grade writing. Yes, I still don't get that demonstration that she did, where it's like she gets one poor girl to try and push her, and then she just throws her over, and then she gets 2 and does it equally easily. Like, that's what you're trying to show us here. Did she then have to get like a whole bunch of them, and they try and push her with the power of the thread, and she can't do it? I mean, it might have made more sense, but still would look stupid. Casey Boyd, in America, OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So you could see how Americans think that naming someone OSHA is especially dumb. Yeah, I mean, it's all kinds of dumb, I suppose, and I didn't even need to know about that to think that the character sucked, but yeah, it's nice to know where it came from as well. John Dyer says, is there an episode of a really bad overall series that you guys thought was really good that could possibly turn the show around but didn't? Congrats on 100 years. Boy, time really flies. Cheers. So, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Like, so a show that was generally shit, but like one episode was just an absolute banger.
Oh, I don't know if that happens ever. Terrible show, but a good episode, or even a great one.
Yeah, this is a challenge. Like, it's a particularly difficult one to come up with on the spur of the moment.
To be controversial, I might say Walking Dead. I thought the show overall was terrible, but there was some episodes here and there, that were like, oh man, this show really could pull it together, but it won't.
But that's a tricky one because I didn't think it was consistently bad. Like, you had the first couple of seasons which were good, and it was just like a decline.
Season 2 was awful. I don't know why people remember season 2 good. That's the stupid farm one. Do you remember the episode where they find a zombie in their well, and they're like, if we can just get the zombie out of the well, then our water will be safe, which is the dumbest fucking logic ever.
I would never be drinking that water for the rest of my days.
It's pissing and shitting in that water, and for God knows how long. What a stupid thing. And then it rips in half, and they're like, oh, well.
I think, yeah, that was the whole like premise of like, we have to have a really disgusting zombie in every episode, and that was clearly their choice there. Like, wouldn't it be funny if it ripped in half because they couldn't get it out properly? Yeah. There was a lot of stuff like that in Walking Dead. Let's see. Star Wars Theory. I think I've heard of that guy. He says Acolyte united the fandom. I feel like it has in a lot of ways. There's a few random people that defend it, but it's pretty limited at this point. Jordan Pendragon. And now the question everyone always wonders but never dares to ask. How can you drink so much during open bar and never once need to leave for a restroom break? I mean, haven't you noticed that occasionally, like, I go on mute and like my camera goes off?
Whenever your camera's off, I assume you're going to have a pee.
Well, yeah. It's like we are only human, and if we've been live streaming for like 2 or 3 hours, then probably someone's going to have to go to the bathroom. So yeah, it happens. But I try to avoid drinking beer because then that's just going to fill you up, and then you'll be pissing every like 20 minutes. So it's usually spirits, and then that way there's not too much liquid going into you. So that is my strategy, and I've refined it over 100 years of open bar, so works for me. Milo says the combined cost of the first 3 John Wick movies was 75% of the Acolyte, i.e. $135 million, but a Wookiee fight is just too expensive. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here with that. It's so funny. Sentinel Rex. The Acolyte will end with a shot of Rey closing one of the sacred texts, and she will look to the horizon and say, it's time for a new beginning. then place her hand on her pregnant stomach. It's so fucking weird because I think that's probably true as well.
Could be.
It'll be something goofy like that. Gavatron says, let's take a moment to acknowledge their rationale for firing Gina Carano while keeping Stenberg for doing more damage to Star Wars. The Carano lawsuit can't come soon enough. Yeah, that's still moving forward, apparently. And I don't know, man. It'll be interesting when they go to Discovery, if they do. I imagine they'll want to settle out of court. But either way, I'm sure she'll do well out of it. Pan Spray says, just trying to summon Star Wars theory. Well, it worked as it happens because he did show up, which was nice. It was great to have him on again. Shaker Silver says, oh, Fringy, calling you names isn't to convince you to enjoy the product. It's to publicly shame you for speaking out against them. You're meant to praise their art or just shut up. Happy 100 all. Yeah, the attitude towards the fans has been, well, predictable, hasn't it?
A little bit.
Same that you always get in stuff like this. Next one. Yeah. Linko Kenobi says, congrats on reaching 100. Theory, love your video about Anakin talking to Palpatine. Very funny. Disney is insane what they're doing on hiring employees. Go woke, go broke. Epic Universe, here we come. Did you guys see the latest on Epic Universe? Anyways, have fun. So that's the Universal thing, I believe. I think Jeremy talked about this a little bit on the night. Yeah, that'd be cool when it gets built. Just a whole other theme park, basically, that they're getting added on. Joe Temig says, cheers to 100. Drinker, you grand Scottish drunkard, and Mauler too, and also high rags. Thank you.
Cheers.
Terrell Coates. I would pay good money for a debate between Mauler and John Campea on the topic of Rey being a Mary Sue. Also, he needs to be EFAP'd. Would that happen? Could it happen?
Wait, for John Campea?
Yeah.
That's what we did on the latest EFAP.
Oh. Had that come out when we did Open Bar?
I was about to say, that happened after. So, wow, this person really got their wish, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a manifestation. There was another person who wanted us to review Dodgeball. And there you go.
God.
Yeah.
Terrifying. You guys better not send loads of super chats asking for certain things and then those things happen. That would be crazy. We certainly wouldn't want that.
We hate that sort of thing. Yeah, would you ever, if John Campea says, man, I want to come on EFAP and debate Mauler about Rey being a Mary Sue.
I think that's pretty cringe, but sure, if you want to.
I feel like you would smoke him in about 5 minutes. Like,
most of it would just be figuring out what he thinks is happening. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the time with this stuff, they haven't paid much attention to the films themselves, which is normal. A lot of people watch films and have fun. Yeah. But I'd just be like, what do you think of Mary Sue is, and what do you think Rey is? And then we'd figure out where he's got gaps. As simple as that.
Yeah. Ashitaka Amishi says, congrats, Critical Drinker and Mauler, in your view of Star Trek The Undiscovered Country. I'm surprised you didn't point out that Uhura mentioned having the equipment for detecting gaseous anomalies when that was on the Excelsior and not the Enterprise. I thought it was on the Enterprise.
I'm having a memory of something here, and I don't know if it was something I read or something we talked about or something else, but I'm almost certain it's either a deleted scene or something you were telling me about, but like there was something they cut that was going to be a discussion to imply why they had the gear they needed on the ship for what they're talking about, as opposed to it being just on the Excelsior. There's something about that. I remember reading something somewhere.
Yeah, I seem to recall a discussion early in the movie where they're bitching at each other and Uhura's complaining about how they've been spending the past 6 months like traveling through nebulas, cataloging anomalies, and like it's just boring, mundane duty. So I thought there was something in the movie already that establishes that. I could be like having a bit of the Mandela effect here, but yeah, I thought it was established that the Enterprise had that stuff. Yeah, I think I read this out on the night, but I'm just going to do it again because it's funny. Mauler's super loud keyboard says, "Happy Centennial. I love how annoying I can be during Mauler streams, so here is some of his money since I know his passwords. Whenever you hear me, just know it's his OnlyFans. It was OnlyFans all along." The Almost Dead Man says, happy 100. Buy yourself a shot of nice tequila with this. Yeah, thank you. I'm not a huge tequila drinker, to be fair. I'll do shots of it occasionally, but it's not something I like just would drink for pleasure. It's all business with me when it comes to tequila. Roos Spion says they could change lightsaber canon so the color lets you know what pronouns to use. That's a good idea, actually. I'm waiting for a rainbow colored one. I think it's only a matter of time. If Batman Had a Parrot says, I vote that we keep doing bigger panels of bigots at least once a month. Well, I mean, it was great to have so many people on. Like, it was a bit chaotic at times, but did we have like 10 people on at one point? It was getting close.
I think we got the maximum.
I think we maxed out on StreamYards, yeah. Well, it was good. Mackenzie says, bit random, but any thoughts on the new Inside Out movie? Actually really enjoyed it myself. Not woke, good story. Felt like old Pixar, a sign of things to come. I don't know, actually. I mean, I don't know much about it. Yeah, apparently it's doing well at the box office. But beyond that, I can't really tell you anything about it, I'm afraid. Timmy04. Can't believe you're 100 already. Congrats, you beautiful bastards. Don't forget about when Drinker's mic kept cutting out and Mahler's loud munching of snacks. Open Bar 50 is still my favorite to this day.
Classic episodes. Yeah.
This is the thing. When you stream for long enough, inevitably you're gonna have episodes where fucking everything goes wrong and you have all kinds of technical problems. And that makes it even more fun somehow. The Munkiss says, happy 100th. To celebrate, a wizard offers to AI generate 4 seasons of Firefly as if it was made by the cast back then. Ooh. Yeah, sign me up then. To prove the quality holds up, he reveals 3 of the original episodes were his, sent back in time. Do you accept? Why or why not? Would you accept that premise?
So go over it again, just so I'm clear on how this works.
Okay. So, a wizard offers to AI generate 4 entire seasons of Firefly as if it was made by the cast back then. So, pretty much indistinguishable. And to prove that it's of sufficient quality, he reveals that 3 of the original episodes were actually his, sent back in time. So basically, you almost can't tell the difference. Would you accept his offer? As a matter of
actually principle, his being actually the wizard AIs?
Yeah, so imagine you've got, like, what is it, 12, 14 episodes in the first series? Yeah, so imagine 3 of those were actually done by that wizard with AI, so they weren't actually made by the original cast.
Oh,
but the quality
I see.
Is good enough that you can't tell the difference. So would you accept 3 more seasons?
I would accept that, yeah. It's complicated, right? Because I'd want to vet them, so to speak. Because I do believe that we will probably get to a point where AI is capable of doing this sort of stuff. By the time that it is, and it's like fully available, I don't know what the rest of the world's going to look like technology-wise, but I will say, like, yeah, the idea that I've seen other people entertain this. Like, there's some of our favorite comfort shows and movies of all time. If an AI can recreate them to the point where we actually have no clue, like, it's impossible to tell.
The scary thing is that then people could customize their own episodes, and you might get people saying, like, well, AI or ChatGPT generate me a Farscape episode, but like Aaron and John have swapped bodies or something like that, or Rigel's in love with fucking Dargo.
It would probably get to a point where it's scan my brain and generate a TV show that I will love more than anything ever.
I think you might be horrified by what it actually produces.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's going to be exponential, as it already kind of is. People have been showing, like, in just 1 year, the amount of progress all AI stuff has made. And I'm one of the people, I don't know if you are as well, but where people say, this looks like shit, it's like, that is not the issue. It's not going to look like that bad for a lot longer. You know what I mean?
No, it's what it represents and what it does in order to produce this end product that I'm not keen on. And I don't really like where it's going.
And it's just stomping forward, It's no matter what complaints are made.
Yeah, well, there's no stopping it, really, isn't it? Once the cat's out of the bag, it's just going to keep going.
We're definitely we're doing a Jurassic Park here. So concerned with whether or not you can.
Well, at least we remembered the before times when we just had shitty movies made by actual
Oh,
humans.
dude, I'm not even kidding. I've said this to Free a couple of times. I'm happy that I'll be dead before we enter into the really crazy, complicated, horrifying future of whatever humanity ends up with. All of our most horrifying dystopia movies, it's probably gonna be worse than that.
I like your positive outlook. We're all fucked and we should just give up now.
I'm like, don't worry, Drinker, we'll be dead.
Yeah. Thank you. I can't wait. Rob Cortez says, she might not have had it up top, but I will die on the hill that Catherine Zeta-Jones should have been Lara Croft. She has that European class. That's a tough sell, man. That's a tough sell.
I don't think so.
She would... I guess she would have had to shape up quite a bit. Like, not that she was out of shape, but she'd have to gain a bit of like athleticism. I never really associated Catherine Zeta-Jones with action.
I mean, I've not really associated her with acting that much. And you'd be like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, how many roles do you think she did really well with?
Zorro, she was good in that, I think. I liked her.
Anything else?
Uh,
Remember Entrapment?
I was gonna say she played opposite Connery in that one, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I don't think she had a stellar career. Let's see. What's she been up to?
Well, she was in the Wednesday TV show. Did you see that?
Yeah, she was. She was Morticia, wasn't she?
Yeah. The show itself was okay. Assume
Yeah, I think kind of it was the main actress that really carried that one.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah, what's she done? So actually, my God, she's 54 now. Yeah, so she did Mask of Zorro, Entrapment, The Haunting.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
with Liam Neeson. America's Sweetheart, Chicago. She was all right in Chicago, I recall. She was playing opposite Renée Zellweger in that. I think she was pretty good. Ocean's 12, I don't remember her being in that. She was in The Terminal with Tom Hanks, apparently. I don't really remember that either. And she also had a role in Red 2.
Oh, okay.
So, well, she's done things.
She's around.
Yeah, well done, Catherine. I mean, it all started with Darling Buds of May, so she's done all right out of it. Solar Sailor says, congrats, Drinker and Mauler. Keep making waves and calling out the good and bad of storytelling. The bars brought folks together. Could you raise a glass to my dad, Michael? He passed away on Tuesday. Cheers. You know what, man? I'm going to pour myself another drink just so that I can toast your dad there. And I'm very sorry for your loss. But here's to you, Michael.
Cheers.
Toilet Seatbelt says, happy 100th Drinker and Co. Thanks for the great times. Thank you. They have been great. Appreciate it, man. Aloha Boy says, everything is wrong about Yoda and Yaddle being Grogu's parents. Thanks to the Acolyte, it's now possible for Yaddle and Vernestra Rua to cut through the thread by scissoring baby Eurastra Throttle into existence. I don't even know what I'm saying there. Let's just just a bunch of words came tumbling out. Casey Boyd, Drinker, I also found the Crow DVD at a thrift store for $1 and got it based on your Extra Shots video. Really enjoyed it. The set of the Crow looks like how Gotham should look. Yeah, it's a very evocative, very moody film. They did a good job with that. Very ahead of its time. Paul Connolly, hail Drinker and panel. Congrats on reaching 100 years of open bar. My question is for Metal Commander, so you're going to have to be his stand-in here, Mauler. Have you got a favorite German film?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. If he does, it's probably... I was going to make a joke, but I was like, that's too easy.
Let's say it's Das Boot. I knew you were going to fucking say that one. Yeah, it's a good choice. Jay Fraser. Mauler, do you know how of the original unmade second episode of Angel, Corrupt, which was considered too dark to be made?
No, I do not know about this.
Apparently so. There you go. Maybe the script's out there somewhere. Also, which spin-off do you wish was made? Animated, Faith, Ripper, or a Spike movie?
Ripper. That's the one. It's I would have liked all of them. I love all those characters, but the concept of a I don't know if this is necessarily what Ripple was gonna be, right? But if it was just Giles' side thing, they could make this today. Funnily enough, it would be Anthony Stewart Head, modern times, describing to some watcher he's training what his early years were like, and then we have a new actor who's younger who can play out those scenes, sort of thing.
Yeah,
With Anthony Stewart Head commentating, could make it today, and it would be banger if it were made right, of course. But back then, I was so ready for. He could have done it himself. The younger parts as playing. The whole idea with him is that he had a much rougher and darker past, where he killed demons himself and in the name Ripper. Right? It's just like that sounds cool as shit, and yeah,
yeah.
it's all in your head for the most part. And to see a show about that could have been really cool.
Oh, sounds good to me. Like David Gannon says, "Congratulations on 100 years, gents. I just subscribed to my first YouTube channel. I see comments on your epic Firefly episode 1 review, which I watched with you, asking you to next review Babylon 5 or Stargate SG-1. Just stop Babylon 5 at season 4 and Stargate at season 8. Drink well." Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the Stargate definitely ran out of ideas towards the end,
Just
and I don't think it was a failing of them. It was just they'd done so much.
Just so hopefully everyone understands, I think we tried to explain it at the time, but this is not like we're not blasting through TV shows or anything. This is going to take, I want to say, 6 months until Firefly's over, and that's one season, and it's a half season.
Yeah.
Like this is not, you know.
The problem Mauer and I have, like as I'm sure we've made clear before, is like we have quite limited time to do watch throughs and things like that.
Mhm.
And so maybe once a month we can take a Sunday evening and we'll watch a movie or we'll watch like a few episodes of a TV show in this case. And
Yeah,
then we can try and cut it together into like a somewhat entertaining commentary, and that's what we try to do. But yeah, like Mauer says, we're not going to be able to blast through 8 seasons of Stargate or anything like that. We have to be pretty picky about what we watch, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's worked out well so far, and it's a nice little thing for us to do, to
yeah.
lighten the mood.
If Firefly were even twice the size, we probably wouldn't have done it.
Exactly, yeah. Because we talked about, can we pick? Say if we did like Farscape, we couldn't do the whole show because it's like 4 seasons. So could we pick just a few episodes that we considered really good or whatever? So we tossed around various ideas, but Firefly seemed to be like a complete narrative that was a manageable size and ideally something that one of us hadn't seen before, which was me. So that all worked out great. Hopefully we can keep going through that. Rogue Hunter says, "Drinker and guests, what is your favorite anti-hero and why? Mine has to be the Punisher because despite how violent his methods are, he's still a good man underneath it." So
He's a classic. Is what's the word on Batman right now? Is he an anti-hero or a hero?
well, he doesn't kill, so I'd say he's a hero. And he
Well,
only goes after criminals and stuff.
you have to kill to be an anti-hero.
Well, I think more just like you have to be willing to skirt the lines of morality. And I feel like Batman's got a really strong moral code that he doesn't really
That's
violate
true,
for
but
anything.
in some of his interpretations, he will beat the absolute living hell out of a person, right?
Yeah, for sure. I guess it depends which version you want to go with. So yeah, I suppose you can go with that. Batman's okay. I was like, is Rorschach one that you can pick?
I think so. I think he
Yeah.
counts.
Because like a lot of people are like, oh well, he's the villain of the movie, don't or the the book, don't you know? And I'm like, no, he fucking isn't. Like, he's definitely not a good person, but he's also not evil. Like, he's just got a very fucked up morality, but he does have a code that he adheres to very strongly to the point where he's willing to lay down his life rather than compromise it. So I think there's a lot going on there to pick apart, and I think it makes him a very interesting character.
So I was just looking at like what I consider the top tier anti-heroes, and you got people like Punisher and sometimes Batman will show up, but some of these are really fucking funny. Like you got things that you may expect is a John Wick is in here, Blade, Deadpool, and then it just says Al Pacino.
just the actor.
He's an anti-hero. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's like you really can't rely on Google for these kind of things. Like, it'll throw up some fucking weird results. AG says, "This is the greatest nerd debate that I've ever heard in a long time. Congrats on 100, Drinker. Hail to the panel and chat." Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think people were enjoying the little character mashups that we were doing, and I think it would be nice to try and work them into Open Bar. Not like have a whole episode devoted to it or anything, but just like a little segment or something where we speculate on, you know, character battle scenes or something. I think we could do stuff with that.
Yeah.
It helps to lighten the mood, particularly if it's like, you know, all kind of doom and gloom, like, oh, Star Wars is terrible and everything's awful now. Let me just scroll up here. Yeah. Matt Douglas. Happy 100 Drinker and Mauler. You guys made my week every week. I've been watching since your TLJ reviews. Hail to the panel as well. You're all fantastic. Cheers. Thank you very much, man.
Cheers.
Stephen Hernandez says, have you ever had any interest in watching Better Call Saul? I do have interest in watching it. It's just I don't have time for watching
it's a
it,
bit of a commitment.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, it's well worth it for Breaking Bad fans, and it's not a waste of time in the sense that that is some well-made TV for the whole duration. You know, it's like reliable.
Yeah. Lefty Raccoon says, move over Sinky Rocks. Bernie Rocks are here. Hail to the Open Bar and all you magnanimous, magnificent men. You make entertainment entertaining again. Except that one Jeremy guy. He's gay and I totally don't watch his stuff. Yeah, Bernie Rocks. Yeah, like I don't know about you. I learned that metal and stone is highly flammable. So
in Theory's little parody video, when he has Anakin explain the witches to Palpatine, and he says it all burned down. He looks at him like, how? And then he's just like, bricks. That's how it goes, man.
Daval says Pierce Brosnan was the best Bond. Changed my mind. I mean, there's probably an argument to be made there. I don't know if I agree necessarily. Like, I think my preference might still be Connery, but man, I feel like maybe Pierce Brosnan is the most underrated of the Bonds.
He's my favorite.
I know. I
It
wish he'd got
my generation age, literally. Like,
yeah. I always would have loved to have seen what he could have done with a script like Casino Royale. You know, a much more serious, grounded kind of Bond story. Because we never really got that from him. But he was the Bond that I suppose we needed for the era that he was in. Trying to move on past that like awkward Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton sort of phase. So yeah, he did a good job. Dean Mays says, just leaving my ICU after smashing out 4 12-hour night shifts back to back, and I get to listen in live. Thank you for keeping me sane, Drinker and Mauler. Damn, that is a brutal shift, man. 12-hour shifts, 4 nights in a row. Ugh. Good stuff, man. Well done for doing it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says, dance off, Bully Maguire versus Billy Elliot. I think Bully could probably take him, actually. Star Trekker 58 says, I've been watching TV and movies for 50 years. Why can't the fools in charge see that this is the least diverse period ever? Anyway, getting back to reality, congrats on the 100th show, Mr. Drinker. You all rock, by the way, and keep telling the truth, not Hollywood's fake truth. Well, we will do our best. So thank you very much for the donation, man. Tic Tac says, I love you guys. Drinker, Muller, Platoon, and Disparu. You always make me laugh with your great humor and breakdowns. You've taught me so much about writing. The rest of the panel is great too, of course. Well, we do our best.
We do try.
Shiro Yasha says, first super chat. I recently finished university and I can't spare much at the moment, but I just wanted to thank you both, Drinker and Mauler, for the entertainment and conversations that are had. Well, thank you. And we try to entertain people, so appreciate it. Snope says, Gundam is the best. He needs to be on more. Well, we'd love to have him on more. It's just he's a busy man himself, so we all have to work around each other's schedules, sadly. Malkador's dead corpse says, Malkador turned into dust, okay, when he came off the golden throne. He doesn't have a corpse anymore. He says, congratulations. Love watching these streams. Hail to the panel members and the chat. Here's a contribution to 100 more. You lot have inspired me to start reviewing, and shout out for my channel. Gameplay casts would be awesome. So there you go, everyone. Check out gameplay casts. TKD Boy says, Took my mum and niece to see Inside Out 2. Tickets and drinks and popcorn came to $70. That's a big reason many films are flopping nowadays. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I'm surprised it was as cheap as that, to be fair, for 3 people. Anyway, congrats on 100 years and have a pint on me. I love how everyone's just embraced the whole 100 years thing. It's brilliant.
It's pretty awesome.
Get Woke Go Broke says, congrats on the 100th episode and fuck Disney. That's it. That's the chat. Right there. Perfect.
Yeah. Sums it up.
Josh Love says, I've just eaten an entire ostrich egg's worth of omelets, and this stream is the only thing keeping me conscious. Thank you, gentlemen.
Well,
how the fuck do you end up in that situation? It's like, you know what? I need like a 6-egg omelet right now.
I just like the idea that he's stumbling around like, I need check YouTube. Yes, they're live. Thank goodness.
Babbling nonsense. It's like, it's just the omelette talking. I can't handle it. Chris Nicholson says, Drinker, congrats on the 100th open bar. As Hollywood gets more visibly nervous, remember, people like you are turning the tide. Have a round on me, and here's to 100 more. Cheers. Thank you, Chris Nicholson. I appreciate that, man. Breaking Puppet says, Muller, can you stretch your index finger behind your head to touch your toes, or do you make a Hot Wheels-like track to reach them? Also, love yours and Wolf's Fallout 76 video. Love you all.
Yes to the first question, of course. And
sure, anyone can do
for the
that.
rest. Yeah. Easy.
I love these questions. Alabaster Scarf says, congrats on 100 episodes. May your glasses never run dry and may your hangover never come. Cheers. Well, that's the secret, you see. If you're always drunk, you can never be hungover. There you go. Next one. Yeah. VJ the Vigilant says, don't know if you've seen this or done this. Spike Spiegel versus Sterling Archer.
Wait.
I don't.
What, say the name again, sorry?
Spike Spiegel. I don't know. Who's Spike Spiegel? So that is... right.
Yeah.
From Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting his fucking surname. Yeah. So Spike versus... Who we had there? Sterling Archer. That one I need to look up.
Well, he's...
Is it from Archer? Yeah, like, okay. I think Spike could probably take him.
I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, so I can't say.
He doesn't fuck around, does Spike. I reckon he's probably got this one. Sorry, next one. Jay Fraser says, my friend Justin just finished Firefly, then asked the inevitable sad question about season 2. I told him the bad news, but cheered him up by showing him Serenity. I mean, it's a consolation.
Good ending. It is everything you could want, and just it finishes off the story. It's very, very much a good thing.
Yeah. Irish Trash says, bullets are faster than blaster lasers. That seems to be true, yeah. And I don't understand how, because you'd think they would move at the speed of light, but apparently not. How come we never see guns in Star Wars, actually? Because you know how in like Firefly, as an example, you've got different levels of technology, and the more you get towards the outer rim, like maybe advanced tech like particle beam weapons just aren't going to be practical. So you got to have simpler stuff like guns. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be interesting to see a Jedi take on an actual person with a gun.
This is what came up with the fucking throwing knives, right? Like if you had a shotgun with pellets from our world, Jedi is fucked.
Yeah,
they have
no
to
way you're going to be able to
stop that. Otherwise they're dead. Yeah, and even if they block it, that just I want to see that blocking that, and it just sprays molten metal in their face, and they're like, "Fuck!" And there's just like screaming in pain. You're like, "Yeah, how's that feel?"
It reminds me of Deadpool 2, you know, when he's getting shot, and it's like the guy just keeps laying into him, and he's like, you think he's deflecting it all with his sword, and he's like covered in bullet holes. He's like,
dude, that shit, man. Direct callback to the Origins movie. I love that shit because he does it in that successfully. But yeah, didn't Andor have? They had AKs and shit. I don't remember. They fired.
I thought they were just dressed up blasters, though. Like,
yeah, No, it's a fair, interesting sort of point of view. I think maybe they just want to stay consistent to Star Wars just doesn't have any other alternatives.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Anti-Valen says, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts on John Campea? He seems to be in deep denial about Disney, Star Wars, and woke, etc. He even stated that the Acolyte is not wrong about what they did with Ki-Adi Mundi. I think he's just a fucking shill. Like,
We covered his
he'll just
video. It's garbage. He's all over the place and he's angry. He doesn't know where to put it.
I think, yeah, he's probably just like hoping to curry favor with Disney and stuff, and so he'll just say whatever seems best to get that result, I suppose. And I don't fucking know if he even cares about any of this stuff, really. Caroline Hernandez says, "Happy 100th episode," and that was for $50. So thank you. Appreciate it. Cole G says, "E.T. versus Alf." Oh, tricky. Like E.T. maybe?
I can't remember what does Alf do? Is he strong enough to?
I don't think either of them have got much in the way of offensive capabilities. So,
Yeah.
right, Alf. I just, let's see if there's like any kind of site that tells you what he can do. Okay. Yeah, it's just all production information. So, Alf the animated series, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's all just like what shows he was in and shit like that. Right. Yeah, it doesn't really. He just seems to just live in a house with people. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I feel like that's probably going to be a stalemate, I think, because ET's powers are all about like healing and stuff, aren't they? Like he can bring the plant back to life and shit with his glowy finger. So, yeah, I think they might just fight to a stalemate there because they're both a bit shit. No Gardy.
Mr. Bean versus Kermit fight. It was so funny.
Yeah. It was when someone in the chat pointed out, like, Kermit's mouth is made of felt, and so he doesn't even have teeth or claws or anything. Like, what can he even do? No Gardy says, "Happy Centennial episode. On June 20th, 1924, the day of the first open bar, silent film star Chick Morrison was killed when his horse, Young Steamboat, fell backwards onto him while they trained for a movie. Rest in peace."
Yeah.
That is tragic. And just think what he could have accomplished if he'd lived. I'm sorry that happened. But, we were busy recording open bar on that day. So what can I say? Odinson says, "Matrix is a super soldier, while Dutch isn't even the toughest guy in his unit." Ooh, I would dispute that. He might not be the biggest, but he can tank a shot from the Predator's shoulder cannon. So not many guys can do that.
Like the toughest. Are we going with? I mean, several of them could be category for the toughest. It depends what you mean by toughest.
Yeah. Like, it's not necessarily physically strongest.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, a lot of the rest of them just seem to get taken down with one shot, but he just keeps going.
Like, Billy's pretty tough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Shaker Silver also says, "Matrix beat an entire private army with no trouble." That is true. I mean, Dutch and his mates took on like an entire army as well, but like,
it was genuinely just a feeling of like I think the way I perceive the two characters in Matrix is just unstoppably insane. And it might be I made this clear. It might be unfair because of the films that they're in. Like it's not fair to take Dutch the way that he is in a film where he's designed to be defeated through the whole film until the end.
That's true. Yeah. Line Walker says, "The Bruce Willis is a trick question. One would have offered the other a cigarette and they would have just been hard-nosed best bros for life." I mean, yeah, but if you forced them to fight to the death, like, I feel like they would do it, unless, if they teamed up to fight you, take you down for putting them in that situation. It's always possible. Tim S. says, "I vote John Hallenbeck from The Last Boy Scout, but that's not one of the options." Yeah, we need to do a special on like the lesser known Bruce Willis movies. Well, that's Boy Scout. I thought it was
Stop
quite
choosing people that people don't even know. You're like, yeah, well.
I know, yeah. It's like I need to make it something that people have actually heard of. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I don't even know what this person is, so I can rank them. Stephen Keogh says, Drinker, I love you for your very dry commentary. Mauler, I love you because you opened my eyes to writing. Hopefully someday we can all go for a pint and we can have a good laugh together.
Yeah.
We too hope for that scenario, my friend. Jake M says, somehow Gandalf returned. Yeah, because no one's truly gone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Alex Chermyamski's given us a super sticker for $20, so thank you, man. Larry says, made you look 100 space bucks for your 100th episode. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Claydex says, Wolverine versus Van Helsing, both played by Hugh Jackman. That is true. I feel like Wolverine would easily kill him, though.
I was about to say, are they going with, because Van Helsing werewolf form?
I guess you'd have to really to give him a chance, but even then, I feel like he'd be quite killable by Wolverine. He would just slice and dice him.
Do the wolves in Van Helsing have like super health regen? I can't remember. You get taken out by silver bullets, but I think, if I'm correct, I can't remember if they have like super healing. They might do.
I think they've got a healing factor, yeah, because like when him and Dracula are fighting each other in the finale, they're fucking each other up, and like they seem to regenerate pretty quickly. So yeah, maybe that'd be a more competitive fight. Actually, I kind of looked at Van Helsing just more in his human form, and that's why I discounted him from this tournament. And David Gannon says Dallas and Rambo were special forces soldiers, and both were up against cops. There's no contest. Special forces wins. That's true, yeah. Although Corbin Dallas was up against like aliens and God knows what else, and the ultimate evil. So I feel like he was.
What I said. It's not about who they've been up against, it's about who they are, what they can do. You know.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Basil the Mouse Detective went up against all kinds of things, but he's not going to do much against a mouse trap.
Get your head out of that one, Basil, you dick.
Yeah.
See you outsmart this trap. Well, that was the last one there. As I said at the beginning, like obviously we couldn't cover every super chat because there was just too many, and there was a lot of them that were just purely wishing us a happy, 100th episode and congratulating us. So, as I say, I appreciate all of them. And I'm sorry if we didn't answer your particular one or we didn't read your particular super chat out. As I say, this is kind of a special case where there was just so much that it was going to be a real struggle to get through all of them. But thank you for everyone for supporting us. I said this on the night as well. Like you people, all of you people that have watched this, you're the reason Open Bar has been as successful as it has. Like it would be anything without you, quite literally. So thank you for joining us each week. Thank you for taking part in it, keeping the chat exciting, and for sending us all these super chats, and generally making this a really enjoyable thing for me and Mauler and our guests that we bring on every week. We really appreciate everything that you've done to help support us. So thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a thing. It's been a journey. It's been a lot of fun, and we hope it will last forever.
Anyway, that's enough of that soppy shit. So we're gonna go away now.
Bye.